What's my room number gonna be? I'm sorry, I can't tell you the room number at this time. Oh, really?
So why is that? Why do most hotels have a policy that you cannot tell the guests their room number before they checked into the room? There are actually a lot of good reasons for this. Number one, let's say that housekeeping is cleaning the room and they notice something wrong with it and they tell engineering and that room has to be put out of service. When you then tell a guest that they're going to be in a different room than the one they were told before, sometimes that makes them freak out. Another reason is because the hotel might find a better use for that room. They might decide that they could upgrade you and put someone else in there, that they need to use that room for a travel with, what have you. And if the guest has been told that room number, then they can't use that room for a better purpose. And finally, the video that I stitched this with, the guest was not told the room number, but still went up and down the halls harassing the housekeeper. Imagine if she had known the room number. Hotels will generally not tell the projected room number to avoid housekeepers and other guests getting harassed by Karens. Oh my God, is that Ryan? Wait, no, that's not Ryan. Oh. I 100% thought that was Ryan in that video at first, and going by the amount of times he's been tagged in that video, everybody else thought the same. So you know what? The crown of internet twin is going to that person because it sure as heck ain't me anymore. Oh my gosh. Ah yes, truly a classic. And here's a dramatic reenactment of how that conversation usually goes. Hi, I'm here to get my room. Oh, I'm sorry, but we don't have any rooms available for early check-in at this time. I'm gonna stop you right there. I booked this room 3 months ago, and I told you I was gonna be here at 9:30. So you're supposed to have a room that's ready for me now. Yes, ma'am, I do see that you put in an early check-in request, and unfortunately, we cannot accommodate that request at this time. But I told you I was gonna be here at 9:30. How come there isn't a room that's ready for me? You knew I was coming. Yes, but last night we were 100% sold out, and unfortunately we haven't had any early departures, so we simply do not have the rooms for early check-in. Well, that is just ridiculous. You need to tell someone to leave and clean the room so I can get in now. Ma'am, no one is being told to leave their room before checkout time so that we can accommodate an early check-in request. Okay, but for real though, it absolutely feels like you've cracked a code when you realize that if you are actually really nice to people about an issue, that you will get so much more than if you were rude about it. It seems like it should be obvious that you can get what you want by being nice, but unfortunately, the hospitality industry itself has dug its own grave by constantly rewarding bad behavior. That's how Karens rose to prominence, is because they were always brash and mean, but they got what they wanted from it. We are seeing a trend away from that, but people still do get what they want when they complain. However, I have my own malicious compliance way of approaching that. If someone is extremely mean to me right from the get-go, I will do the bare minimum to help to get them out of my face. But if someone comes up to me and they are kind and understanding and patient, I will bend over backwards to help you. What's more, I will tell people that I am doing X, Y, and Z on top of fixing their problem because they were so nice, because I'm trying to spread the message that being nice works. Okay, perfect. So everything is confirmed. We're almost done with check-in, but just for our next step, I am going to have a credit card placed on file for hold. So if you just go ahead and insert your credit card over here for me. Perfect. So what we're doing is we're holding $100 on the card for incidentals. If you don't end up charging anything back to the room, then when you check out, we will be dropping that hold. Just be aware that it may take the bank a few days to reflect that change, but if you haven't charged anything back to the room, your card will not be charged, okay? And why are you telling me all of this? Oh, well, some people find the incidental hold policy to be a bit confusing, so I always explain it. Okay, well, I travel all the time, so I really don't need you to be talking my ear off explaining this all to me. Okay, understood. Excuse me, why have you guys charged my card an extra $100? I do not get paid enough for this. Hi, Merry Christmas. Hi, Merry Christmas. How may I help you today? Oh, well, we just had the most fabulous Christmas Day brunch over at the restaurant, and the hostess there said that we just need to come to the front of the hotel to get our parking validated. Yeah, absolutely. All you need to do with that parking slip and the receipt is take it over to the valet desk over at the front of the hotel. Oh, well, I don't want to walk all the way over there. The desk is just on the other side of the lobby. Yeah, no, I'd rather just you validate it here for me. I wish I could, ma'am, but unfortunately, we don't have the tools here at the front desk to validate your parking. That's all handled through valet, just at that desk over there. Oh, well, can't you help me out here? It's Christmas. Yes, ma'am. I am very aware that it's Christmas. But unfortunately, like I said, there's nothing I can do here at the front desk to help you with that. So you're just gonna have to walk over to the valet desk right over there. Fine. Merry Christmas. Hi, Jess. Oh my gosh. Hi, Mrs. Anderson. We weren't expecting you today. I know I wasn't supposed to be here till next month, but I had another last minute business thing come up, so here I am. I made my reservation like 10 minutes ago. Oh wow, well we always love to see you here, so let me go ahead and get you all checked in, okay? Alright, thanks, Jess. This isn't 4:15. Oh, I know, I'm sorry, but someone's currently checked into that room right now. But 4:15 is my room. I always stay in that room. I know, and we always try to book you into that room, but since it was so last minute, we didn't know you were coming. I'm sorry. But I don't want to stay in a different room. I understand, but how about this? When those guests check out of the room in a couple days, we can move you into it. I could even have our bellman move your bags for you. Well, it seems kind of inconvenient for me to have to move into a room I always stay in halfway through my trip here. Can't you just ask the people who are currently in my room to move? I'm sorry, but I can't call another guest and ask them to move out of a room that they've been in for several days simply because another guest wants to be in that room. Well then, I'll handle this. Where is she going? Hello? Can I help you? Hi there, yeah, I'm afraid that you're in my room, so I'm gonna have to ask you to move. I'm sorry, I think you're confused. I've been staying in this room for several days. Yeah, no, but this is my room. Did the front desk tell you this was your room? Cause then they must have double booked you or something. Yeah, no, the front desk definitely messed up by putting you in my room, but they wouldn't call and tell you to move to fix their mistake, so I went ahead and I decided I'd come up and tell you that you need to move myself. I'll be right back, okay? Sure, yeah, I just appreciate it if you packed up quickly, okay? She told you what? Okay, I am so very sorry. I will be sending someone right away. Please hang tight and do not open the door again, okay? Thank you. I need a manager in security right now. Are you almost done packing in there? Mrs. Anderson? Hi, yes. Hi, I'm the hotel's general manager. Oh, perfect. You must be here to get these people out of my room. Ma'am, as my front desk agent informed you upon check-in, there is already a guest staying in this room. Now, she did discuss with you that we'd be more than happy to move you to this room once that guest checks out. Well, then she must have informed you that I always stay in this room. Yes, ma'am, you have indicated that this is your preferred room when you stay with us, so therefore, when you make a reservation in advance, we do pre-assign you to this room. However, as you were told upon check-in, due to the fact that you made this reservation so last minute, this room simply was not available to you. But I give this hotel a lot of business. Yes, and we do appreciate that. However, it does not change the fact that this room is simply not available right now. Well, then I might just have to go take my business somewhere else. I do completely understand, so I'd be more than happy to go ahead and cancel your reservation with us at no fee, of course. Huh? All right, and that is all done. I do apologize that we could not accommodate you for this day. Now I'll go ahead and I'll have my security help you take your bags outside. Well, okay, this is a very fair question. I saw a lot of people asking what was so special about this hotel room that this lady just had to have it. And I did see the comments and I found them very funny of people theorizing like, she must have left something like illegal in the room, check the toilet tank. That's really just not the case most of the time. Especially with business travelers, you can find that if they're coming to your hotel a lot, they do find themselves attached to certain rooms. Now, maybe it's because they like the view, maybe they like how far it is from the elevator. Like there's a ton of reasons that a guest could decide that this room is their favorite. And sometimes there's no reason. Sometimes guests just get irrationally attached to one room without ever seeing a different room in the hotel. Even when my bonus mom was traveling for work, there was this hotel that she always stayed at that always put her in the same room. And one day they did it and she accidentally, just on autopilot, went to that room and tried to open the door. Now, she didn't pull a Miss Anderson, but she was like, oops, this isn't my room this time. Now, when I worked at the business hotel, I did have another guest who got irrationally attached to one room type. And sure enough, there was a day that he showed up and that room wasn't available. Now, we knew he wouldn't be happy about it, so we went ahead and we upgraded his room type. And so when he came to check in, we tried to sell him on it. We were like, this is a bigger room with a lake view, with a balcony. Like, you're gonna love it. It's actually one of the best rooms we have. And he was all, no, it's not my room. It was a whole fight with this grown man. And finally, we got him to agree to just look at the room. Like, dude, just go look. Just go look at the room. Look at it and tell us you hate it. And what happens? He goes to the room, calls down, and is like, whoa, this room is amazing. I love it. Wow, who would have thought? Us. We knew because we've actually seen all the rooms at the hotel. You've only ever seen one. But all's well that ends well, and he did actually trust us from then on to put him in good rooms.
That's all eyes on me. Horrified looks from everyone in the room.
Hi, my name is Jessica Vanell, and as you may or may not know, I used to be a princess performer for kids' parties. And actually sharing my stories and skits about when I was a party princess is how I started on social media. And my first video that I ever made about it that went viral is this one.
What's poppin'? Don't mind me, just watching.
Yeah, if anyone remembers when that audio was trending, here's your veteran TikToker badge. But anyway, if not for those stories, I would not be where I am on social media today. And because of that, I want to make a series where I answer some of the most common questions that I have got about how I became a party princess, why I stopped being a party princess, how you can become a party princess, and more. Now, I'm going to be uploading all these videos across all my platforms, but if you would like to see them all in one place once I'm done, that compilation is going to be uploaded to Facebook and YouTube. And yes, that is a shameless plug, so go check it out. Now, the first question that I get about being a party princess is, how did I become a party princess? Now, I got very lucky, and there was already a party company in the area where I was going to school, and I was in high school at the time that I became a party princess, and they had online applications. A friend of mine had been hired for the company to be a princess, so she's the one that referred me to the website to apply. And the application asked some very basic questions. Do you like kids? Do you want to perform at parties? Do you have any acting experience? Do you have any experience with kids? Do you have any experience dressing up? And then do you have your own vehicle so you could get to and from parties? And finally, they asked for us to submit headshots. So I had my dad take a few pictures of me and I submitted them. For the audition, they asked us to come in a full face of makeup inspired by a favorite princess, so I chose Rapunzel, and I did my hair too. And after that audition, I was hired. What was it like auditioning to be a party princess? Well, it was nerve-wracking. I was a teenager in high school, so I went out and I bought a whole bunch of makeup so I could go to the audition with the full face that they asked for. The false eyelashes were a pain in my But the audition was actually held at the co-owner's home, and I promise that that's not quite as creepy as it sounded. At the very least, I never felt unsafe with it, and neither did my parents. But I came in, we went over pay, expectations, the fact that I would be an independent contractor, which I had no clue what that was at the time, but went over some pretty basic Disney character trivia, and then it was time to try on costumes. So I tried on Snow White, Elsa, and Rapunzel, and I did sing in my audition, but I was not a singing princess. That was fine with me. I'm not a singer and I didn't want to be a singing princess, but nevertheless, a little while later, I got the message that I was hired, and so it all began. That is all I can fit in this video, but more answers to come. Hi, my name is Jessica Vanell. I'm doing a series on what it was like to be a party princess for kids parties, and this is part 2. So I finished my audition. I am now officially a party princess. So what was my training like for this? Well, my first order of business was to do my research and get to know all of these characters and their backstories and every little piece of trivia I could about them. Now, thankfully, I have been a fan of, fairy tales for a very long time, so that was not a problem. Because keep in mind, for copyright laws, none of these characters were actually Disney characters. What's actually a big part of the training was also understanding what was and wasn't under copyrighted law so that we knew how to approach posting about this job and those characters. So for example, if I posted anything online about my job, I was the Snow Queen, not Elsa. Of course, if the parents or kids called us Elsa while we were at their party, well, we just had to go along with it. It's all very fun skirting copyright laws. Now, a lot of questions I also get about being a party princess is how much of what I wore did I have to supply? Now, in the case of the party company I was hired for, we had to supply our own makeup and shoes, but they supplied the wigs and the costumes. So we were told that understandably, if we damaged the wigs or costumes, we would have to pay for the repair or replacement. But at parties, if it was the kids who destroyed any of those pieces, the parents were billed. Another question I get often is, were we trained on how to do our makeup and how hard is it? If needed and or requested, our boss would absolutely train girls on how to do their makeup. However, since I've been doing cosplay at this point for many years, I was already familiar with theater type makeup, so I didn't need the training. But as for how difficult it was, really only need a few main things in my opinion to do princess makeup, and that is false eyelashes, eyeliner, and plenty of glitter. Oh, and my favorite hack, white eyeliner on the waterline helps to make your eyes look bigger, brighter, and more cartoon-like. And finally, for this video, how much was I paid as a party princess? I got paid $150 for every hour-long party and $75 for every 30-minute party. Now, if you're about to go run off saying that that's super lucrative and you want to go do that right now, pump the brakes and let me break that down for you. Keep in mind that 30-minute parties were actually fairly uncommon, and I would maybe only get 1 hour-long party every weekend. And if you're thinking, well, hey, that's still $150 for an hour of work on the weekend, let's do it, I have more to break down. Picking up and dropping off the costume and supplies from my boss's house took about an hour. Doing my hair and makeup and costume at my home took about 2 hours. Driving to the party generally took about an hour. The party itself took an hour. Driving home took an hour. That's 6 hours. So keep that in mind. Hi, my name is Jessica Vanella, and I'm doing a series on what it was like to be a party princess for kids parties, and this is part 3. I get asked often, how long did I work as a party princess, and can I please show some pictures? So I'll do both of those in one. So I worked as a party princess from 2014, and I officially left the company in 2016. I primarily played Elsa because I have naturally big blue eyes, and it was the height of Frozen fever. But believe it or not, Snow White was actually my favorite character to play, and I only got to play her for one party. I also got to play Anna for a party, and those freckles were rough. And then the only other princess I got to actually play for a party was Cinderella. But I did get to do a photo shoot where I took pictures as Ariel, also in the green dress. I also got to dress up as Belle, Rapunzel, and we did get the costume for the new Cinderella, but I'm not sure if it was ever really utilized. But yes, for about 90% of my parties, I was playing Elsa because I am tall, I have blue eyes, and we were in the height of Frozen fever. Now, when and why ever did I stop being a party princess? Did I have some major falling out with someone in the company? Did I make a huge mistake? Did I cuss in front of a kid? No, I went to college. I moved away and went to college, and anytime I did come back to the city to visit, I was busy visiting friends and family and frankly didn't have time to go through the whole process of doing a party. So eventually I just had to leave the company, and it was sad, but of course my boss understood. In fact, my boss actually asked if I wanted to open up my own branch of the company where I went to college, and I said, no thank you. I didn't have the time, money, or really motivation to have my own branch of the company where I lived, and even though I had a lot of fun being a party princess, it wasn't something I had a big desire to continue to do. But I did audition for Disney one time. So that is another question that I get all the time, is why didn't I become a Disney princess? Since I did go to college in Orlando, I did audition to be a Disney princess, but I was eliminated the first round, and that kind of made me realize that it wasn't for me anyway. I didn't really want to be a Disney princess for a few reasons. For me personally, I didn't want to have to micromanage my diet. I also didn't want to be putting that much makeup on my face all day, every day, because I do have some very sensitive skin, and I have had to fix a lot of issues with that. Number 2, it really wouldn't have helped in my career at all because I went to school for hospitality management, not for entertainment, so it would not have set up a career for me in any way. Although social media has kind of changed that, but And really the primary reason is because I love being a party princess because I got to know the kids, I got to sit down with them for 30 minutes to an hour and have a whole interaction, whereas at Disney, it's pretty much, hi, nice to see you, bye, and that wasn't fun to me. Hi, my name is Jessica Vanella, and I'm doing a series on what it was like to be a party princess for kids parties, and this is part 4. What was my craziest party while I was working as a party princess? Well, anyone who has been here since the beginning knows this story all too well, and that is a story of the evil Elsa. All right, I have told this story so many times that I'm gonna do it in one take, and it's going to be rapid fire, and I do not care if you can't keep up. So I am hired to be Elsa for a party. I go to the party. There is another Elsa there from a competing company, and I know that she's not from our company. I don't ask how, I just know. So she sees me, I see her. She runs into the party. She gets in there with the kids. I go up, I ask for the mom. The mom comes out, and I say, hi, I'm here with, insert my party company name here. And she goes, wait a minute, I hired you, not that girl. What's she doing in my party? And I go, I don't know. And she says, all right, well, you need to get in there. I'm kicking her out. So she kicks takes the other Elsa out. I go in. Now the other kids have already been with this Elsa for about 5 minutes. So
একটু স্যাক্রিফাইস, একটু অ্যাডজাস্টমেন্ট, ব্যাস জীবনটা অনেক সুন্দর।
দেখ, একটা মানুষ অ্যাডজাস্ট তখনই করে যখন সে স্টেবল থাকে না। আর আমি তো ছোটবেলা থেকে ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট, ইউ নো রাইট?
শালার বুড়া নিজে তো মূল্যই আমাকে একদম ডুবাই দিয়ে গেছে।
আপনার কি ভাল লাগছে না? আপনার দেরি করা।
রেস্ট করো না বাবা, সেদিন আমি চলে যেতে পারবো। আইল ম্যানেজ।
খুনটাকে খুন না মনে হয়ে যদি অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট মনে হয় ভালো।
বুঝছো, সবাই আমাকে না বলে সারপ্রাইজ পার্টি অ্যারেঞ্জ করে ফেলছে।
হয়ে যাবে, চিন্তা করবেন না।
আমি একটা ছেলেকে প্রচন্ড ভালোবাসি, সে আসলে আমাকে কখনো পাত্তাই দেয়নি, আর জীবনে পাত্তা দিবেও বলে মনে হচ্ছে না।
এভাবে হা করে তাকিয়ে থাকিস না, আমার সৌন্দর্য নষ্ট হয়ে যাবে।
আমি ঘর খুলিয়া বাহির হইয়া,
সে ঝুঁকে পত্রিকা পড়ছে এবং পা দোলাচ্ছে। ফ্যানের বাতাসে তার ঝলমলে চুল উঠছে। শার্টে আজ তাকে বেশি সুন্দর লাগছে।
তুমি সবসময় আমার পেছনে এভাবে লেগে থাকো কেন?
আমি তোর পেছনে লেগে থাকি? নো, আমি না সত্যি তোকে বিয়ে করতাম।
আশ্চর্য, এসব কিছুই যায় আসে না টাইপের ব্যক্তিরা শুধু খায় দায় ঘুমায় আর মাঝে মাঝে উদ্ভট উদ্ভট রসিকতা করে মাথার পুরো মগজটা বিগড়ে দেয়। অবশ্য তার আরো একটা পরিচয় গোপন করা হয়েছে, সে একটা হত্যা মামলার আসামি।
কোনো কথা হবে না, চুপচাপ পড়তে বসবে। চলো।
আমাকে ধরিস না।
তুই তো সাংঘাতিক বুদ্ধিমতী, কিন্তু বুদ্ধিমতীরাই কষ্ট পায় বেশি, কারণ তারা সব কিছু বিচার করে যুক্তি দিয়ে।
ডক্টর বেশি, ডক্টর।
কোনটাতে কার অধিকার বা অনধিকার আছে সেটা কোনো পেশা নির্ধারণ করতে পারে না স্যার। না না, আমি এসব কিছু আর এখন ভাবতে পারছি না।
কিছু স্বাদ প্রজন্ম থেকে প্রজন্ম সাথে থাকে, তোমার আমার। স্বাদ আর ভালো লাগায় সব সময় মিস্টার কুকি।
আমি একটা ছেলেকে প্রচন্ড ভালোবাসি, সে আসলে আমাকে কখনো পাত্তাই দেয়নি আর জীবনে পাত্তা দিবে বলে মনে হচ্ছে না।
এভাবে হা করে তাকিয়ে থাকিস না, আমার সৌন্দর্য নষ্ট হয়ে যাবে।
আমি ঘর খুলিয়া বাহির হইয়া সে ঝুঁকে পত্রিকা পড়ছে এবং পা দোলাচ্ছে। ফ্যানের বাতাসে তার ঝলমলে চুল উঠছে। শার্টে আজ তাকে বেশি সুন্দর লাগছে।
তুমি সবসময় আমার পেছনে এভাবে লেগে থাকো কেন?
আমি তোর পেছনে লেগে থাকি? নো, আমি না সত্যি তোকে বিয়ে করতাম।
আশ্চর্য, এসব কিছুই যায় আসে না টাইপের ব্যক্তিরা শুধু খায় দায় ঘুমায় আর মাঝে মাঝে উদ্ভট উদ্ভট রসিকতা করে মাথার পুরো মগজটা বিগড়ে দেয়। অবশ্য তার আরো একটা পরিচয় গোপন করা হয়েছে, সে একটা হত্যা মামলার আসামি।
কোনো কথা হবে না, চুপচাপ পড়তে বসবে, চলো।
আমাকে ধরিস না।
তুই তো সাংঘাতিক বুদ্ধিমতী, কিন্তু বুদ্ধিমতীরাই কষ্ট পায় বেশি, কারণ তারা সব কিছু বিচার করে যুক্তি দিয়ে।
ডক্টর বেশি, ডক্টর।
কোনটাতে কার অধিকার বা অনধিকার আছে সেটা কোনো পেশা নির্ধারণ করতে পারে না স্যার। না না, আমি এসব কিছু আর এখন ভাবতে পারছি না।
কিছু স্বাদ প্রজন্ম থেকে প্রজন্ম সাথে থাকে, তোমার আমার। স্বাদ আর ভালো লাগায় সব সময় মিস্টার কুকি।